Day 2 of the NHL playoffs is done. The Vegas Golden Knights and Minnesota Wild game just ended a couple seconds ago. I hopped into the room and let's record what happened in Day 2 of the NHL playoffs. We got the Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Minnesota Wild. Obviously, like I just mentioned, we got the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Ottawa Senators in Game 1 of their series, and we got the Carolina Hurricanes and the New Jersey Devils in the first game of that series as well. Welcome to Kicking with Kipes. I should say that off the top. First up, we got the Carolina Hurricanes taking on the New Jersey Devils in Carolina. They have home ice advantage in this matchup. Frederik Andersen, he picked up the win for the Carolina Hurricanes in this one. Markstrom, the former Calgary Flame, he had an interesting game. He picks up the loss in this one as well. As the Hurricanes, they win this one 4-1. Jaden Chatfield, there were two games today that had an unsuspecting goal or defenseman score the first goal of the series. The Leafs had one. We'll talk about that in a second. Jaden Chatfield, the defenseman for the Carolina Hurricanes, opens the scoring of the series in the first period with this one. Logan Stankoven, he got traded from the Dallas Stars a couple weeks ago in the Mikko Rantanen trade, and he picks up his first two playoff goals for the season and having an absolute amazing start to his playoff run. I love this kid. He is tiny, he is small, but he weaves in and out. He gets knocked over pretty easily, but he is still a very, very, very effective player in this league. So it is going to be extremely fun to watch him blossom in Carolina, which I think he will do just that. Nico Hischier, he picked up the only goal for the New Jersey Devils in this game as well. Andrei Svechnikov, he put in the empty net as the Carolina Hurricanes now lead this series, the best of 7 series, 1-0. One more game on Tuesday in Carolina and before they head back to New Jersey. So what was interesting in this game is the Hurricanes, I found them to look very dominant most of the game. New Jersey, they had a couple spells where they looked pretty good 5-on-5. But it looked also like Markstrom was losing his patience a little bit. He gets flustered in these moments very easily, and it seemed, and there was a weird sequence in the third period where Luke Hughes, brother of Jack Hughes, who is not playing for the New Jersey Devils, Luke Hughes, he goes down with what looks like a shoulder injury, and I'm pretty sure that is what he was out for a significant amount of time earlier this season, was with a shoulder injury, so that is a little concerning for the Devils. And Cody Glass, newly acquired Cody Glass for the New Jersey Devils, was skating in front of Markstrom. Markstrom goes to slash a Carolina Hurricanes player to get him out of the crease, decides to smack the crap out of his teammate Cody Glass. Glass goes down like a sack of potatoes, and he leaves the game in the same friggin' play as Luke Hughes. So what is going on? Markstrom injures his own player. He doesn't have a very good game whatsoever. He lets 4 goals in. He lets 3 goals in and then the empty netter. But he doesn't look too confident in the net right now for the New Jersey Devils. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can pick up his mojo and pick up his anger management almost, because yes, it's the playoffs. You need to be more physical in front of the net, but keep an eye on where your own teammates are, for Pete's sake. So those are two guys for the Devils that they probably can't lose with the injuries that they have right now. So let's keep their fingers crossed if the Devils can get these guys back, because if they cannot get Luke Hughes in particular back, the season will be a sweep, and I'll be right. So I wouldn't be too upset. But that is the first game covered for the Carolina Hurricanes and New Jersey Devils, where the Hurricanes, they win 4-1 to go up 1-0 in their best of 7 series. Up next, we got my favorite team, my diehard childhood favorite team, the Toronto Maple Leafs, against the Ottawa Senators, the first time in 21 years that these two teams have faced off in the playoffs. The game went very well for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Yes, there is a lot of drama. Sens fans don't know what it's like to be in the playoffs since they haven't done it since 2017. So they are all up in arms saying, what is going on? These are soft calls. Yes, there are a couple soft calls that happened in this game. But the soft calls that you guys are calling soft calls is complete BS. There was the cross-check to the numbers of Austin Matthews. As he was facing the boards, he goes headfirst into the boards. That is cross-checking. That is plain and simple, night and day, hot and cold, complete opposite of what is a legal cross-check. Get your head out of your butts. The next one is the Ridley Grigg cross-check to the neck of Jonathan Tavares, former captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs, now assistant, but that's not the point. He takes a full-on boom to the neck of Jonathan Tavares, and he goes down like a sack of potatoes, just like I mentioned in the other game. But Tavares, he looks like he could be hurt long term. He doesn't. He gets back up. He ends up scoring in this game, but he does look like he got hurt. Obviously, you got cross-checked to the neck with a hockey stick, so obviously that hurts. You're playing on ice. Come on, and they're calling it a soft call. Yeah, come on. There have been less things suspended in previous Leafs playoff series. I'm talking too fast. I can't get my words straight. Kyle Clifford, he shouldn't have gotten suspended for as long as he did. Yes, it was a dirty play. Shouldn't have got suspended as long as he did. Ridley Grigg, it got called a minor. It got called, and then it got upgraded to a major so they could look at it on the video replay. Then it got demoted back to a 2-minute minor. That should have been a major. Maybe don't suspend him, but that should have been a major, or just kicked out of the game. That was a dirty, dirty play. He knew from the second he lifted his arms what he was going to connect with, and there was no remorse except for the pity that he wanted to be put on himself. Back to the happy news. Leafs win 6-2 in Game 1 of the playoffs. Toronto leads this series 1-0. They still have one more game at home before they head up the highway to Ottawa, Ontario. Ekman-Larsson, he scores the first goal of the playoffs for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like Chatfield in the Carolina game, these are two defensemen that Ekman-Larsson is more likely to score, but both guys, who would have put money on the fact that this guy would have scored the first goal of the playoffs for the Leafs? Mitch Marner, beautiful pass from Matthews from his own end, finds the seam. Marner on the breakaway, dekes the pants off of Allmark. Boom, goal, top cheddar. Batherson, he then puts it to 2-1 before the end of the first period. Jonathan Tavares, William Nylander, they both score back-to-back on the power play very, very quickly. I think it was like 28 seconds total it took for them to get those two goals on the power play. Ridley Grigg, the dirty little bugger, he then scores for the Ottawa Senators. Morgan Riley, he scores from the point and assisted by Nick Robertson. It did go off an Ottawa Senator player, Highmore, I think his name is. He was weird and put his arm across. It went off his glove, tipped over Allmark. Allmark probably would have saved it if it wasn't for his teammate, so shame on you. Matthew Knies, he blocked a shot about 2 minutes, not even, like 30 seconds probably, in actual game time. He blocked a shot with his hand. He went off in a ton of pain. I was worried. My parents texted me and we were talking on FaceTime. They were also worried that Knies might have broken his hand. He doesn't. He scored a goal on the power play. So awesome. Matthew Knies is an awesome player. If he leaves this summer due to an offer sheet, I might shed a tear because of how much I love this player. But it's kind of out of the Leafs' control, so we will see what happens in the offseason. But right now, he is a Toronto Maple Leaf. He is actively helping this team win games. He is such a good net front presence for the Maple Leafs on the power play. And he is a bugger to play against. This game did get out of hand a little bit in the later stages of the third period. Who was it? Nick Robertson, he took a penalty. Yes, it was a tripping call or holding call. I forget what it was. But then all heck broke loose. There was fights. Domi uppercutted a dude in the face. Benoit, he sucker punched a dude in the face. So it was a very interesting end of the game. It was the Battle of Ontario, what you would expect. But yeah, it was very interesting to see this game fold out. I did not expect it to be 6-2. I was thinking it was going to be 4-2, 5-1, not even 5-1, 4-2, 3-2. I thought it was going to be a lot closer. The Ottawa Senators, yes, this was a lot of their players' first time in the playoffs, so they got to get that energy out, but you have to stay out of the box. The Ottawa Senators, they did look pretty good on 5-on-5, but they were in the penalty box a ton, and that killed them so very much. I think that was 3 goals on the power play, so 3-2 right there. It's very close. This game and series is not as wide open as we think it is, according to me. So let's see what happens. I cannot wait for Game 2 on Tuesday. It's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be blood, sweat, and tears, all effort on deck. The core 4, I like to call it the core 5 now because I think Matthew Knies should be a part of that, or even Morgan Riley. But the core 4, Matthews, Marner, Jonathan Tavares, and Nylander, they combined for 9 points tonight. This has been a common occurrence in previous years when they are told, or when we hear the core 4 isn't doing enough in the playoffs, the core 4 isn't doing this, the core 4 sucks in the playoffs, they never show up. They showed up tonight. Let's hope it continues. Anthony Stolarz looked phenomenal in net. He made 3 or 4 amazing, I don't even have the words, amazing saves. Point blank is the word I was looking for. Point blank saves. So he looks unbelievable for his first career NHL playoff start, his first career NHL playoff win. So game 2, Tuesday, Senators Nation. We will see you there. You guys are a bunch of dirty rats. I hate you, but see you then. The third game of the evening was the Vegas Golden Knights at home taking on the Minnesota Wild in game 1 of their series. Vegas, they end up winning this one 4-2. The Wild, they looked pretty good most of this game, but they just couldn't come up with the final dagger. It was 3-2 with like 0 seconds left in the game. It was very close to being 3-2, so the scoreline doesn't really reflect what actually happened in this game. But Tomas Hertl, the Vegas goals tonight were very, very good. They pinpointed the smallest hole in the net where Gustafsson didn't have it. They picked those top corners and those empty squares so perfectly. Tomas Hertl, his goal was beautiful. Matt Boldy, he picked up a pair in this one, trying to help the Minnesota Wild get to the end of the game. He picks up a penalty with less than a minute left. So he was the helper big time, and then he kind of let his team down with the net empty. So be better, dude. Dorofeyev, his goal was also very good. Brett Howden, he picked up a pair of goals for the Vegas Golden Knights as well today. He had I didn't see the empty netter that he scored, but his first goal was beautiful, just like Tomas Hertl, picking the top corner, Gustafsson's weak side or short side, right above the shoulder. Beautiful goal by Brett Howden. Aiden Hill, he looked very solid in net today. Gustafsson, he did look pretty good in net. The one goal, I think it was door 5, wide open on the power play. He was pretty far out of his net, so maybe be a little bit better in net for that one, Gustafsson. But besides that, it was very well done by him. Not too much else happened in this game. It wasn't very chippy. It wasn't very... These two aren't usually rivals, so they have to build that anger throughout the series. So we will see what happens. I think I predicted this one in 5 or 6. So Minnesota, please win at least one. So that is it for this day 2 of the NHL playoffs. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see more from the playoffs, let me know. I can do some live streams if people are interested. I don't know. I'm thinking about as series and maybe several series get closer to clinching or moving on, losing a series, I don't know. But as series move on, maybe I'll stream a couple games. We will see. Let me know what you would like to see in the playoffs right now. These recaps, I love doing them, so I'll keep doing them until people say stop. Thank you so much for watching. Day 3 tomorrow. There's a couple game 2s. There's a couple game 1s. So it is Mix It Up Monday, so there will be no recaps. So have a great night. Thanks for watching.